Hail and well met, everybody. Welcome back once again to the Menagerie. My name is Dylan, and today we're going to be delving into a bit more serious of a topic than I've covered in the past. It's been a little bit since I've been able to get any content done for the channel, because I've been really busy with starting my first year of college. As you can see, I'm in a different setup than I was before, so this is a bit of an experiment with this setup and how it works. Before we get into the thick of things, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. With that out of the way, let's jump into it. Today, we're going to be talking about something very important and something that, frankly, is integral to role-playing games, and that is diversity. I wanted to cover this now because in just a few weeks, Wizards of the Coast is releasing a new book for D&D 5th edition called Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, which I plan on doing a review video of once it's out, by the way. This book is going to have new variant rules on how race works in D&D. It seems that this is in some ways being done as a response to the accusations and admission of stereotyping and racism present within some published D&D books, such as the Vistani people in The Curse of Strahd and some passages in Tomb of Annihilation. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, what do fantasy role-playing games have to do with diversity? Or what does diversity have to do with fantasy role-playing games? And quite simply, the answer is a whole hell of a lot. Diversity is a cornerstone of nearly any fantasy role-playing game there is. A big part of the fun of RPGs is there's this massive array of characters that you'll find and meet in a fantasy world. From elves to dwarves to humans to halflings, the worlds of fantasy games are full of diversity. However, it must be acknowledged that, in their standard forms, the D&D races are very much based on the mythology and legends of Europe, particularly Celtic, Germanic, and Greek mythology. Many monsters as well come from these traditions, and going through the 5e bestiaries, it's hard to find many things that come from the legends of East Asia, the Americas, the Pacific Islands, Australia, or Africa, despite the rich traditions present in these places. For instance, I would love to see an Algonquin Wendigo or a Chinese Jiangxi in an official D&D book. If you were to branch out even more, you could add a Tokoloshe from the legends of the Zulu and Xhosa people, or Bunyip from the Australian outback. There's so many things from around the world that you can take inspiration from that would lend themselves well to D&D. Of course, you can add anything that you want to your D&D worlds. In fact, because of the interactive nature of D&D, it's highly encouraged that you do things like that. But it would also be great to see Wizards of the Coast do some of that legwork on their own and make such content official. Perhaps you don't like the idea of elves being peaceful, forest-dwelling humanoids. Perhaps you want your elves to be a dark-skinned people who live deep in the deserts, building gleaming cities out of glass made from the sand of the very deserts they call home. Perhaps you want your orcs to be a peaceful and calm people who follow vegetarian traditions and abhor any needless killing. All of these and anything else you can think of are perfectly valid things to do in your worlds to bring more color and more flavor to the world. Something I do quite a lot is I take inspiration from the real world. As someone who loves to learn about other cultures and other ways of thinking, I incorporate aspects of many real-world cultures into my game worlds. For example, my world Shangui, which I talked about in my world-building video, my elves are heavily based off of Ming Dynasty China. At the same time, the halflings are in a similar position to the Israelites in the biblical book of Exodus, enslaved by a mighty desert nation, waiting for someone to come and free them and bring them to the promised land of Ivry. Those are just a few examples of how I've used real-world ideas in my RPG worlds. The list can go on and on and on. However, the important thing to remember if you do this is that you must be respectful of the culture. For example, when I voice an elf of Shangui in-game, I don't use very much of an accent because it would be very difficult to respectfully do the sort of Chinese or East Asian accent properly without sounding offensive. So while I highly encourage you to use the real world as inspiration, make sure you are doing so respectfully. And even more importantly, make sure your players are comfortable with how you're portraying different cultures in-game. The last thing you want is to have a player who is suffering through something that they find offensive. I hope this video has given you a little bit of a different perspective on the issue of diversity in Dungeons & Dragons and in RPGs in general. Perhaps I've even inspired you to add something to your games. Leave a comment down below if you've ever had a particularly good or bad experience with diversity in RPGs. I plan on responding to every comment that this video gets. With that, I bid you all farewell. May your adventuring days be many more.